peace, and greetings. Here we are. Now, we've looked at both sides of this picture. We've looked at the 3D space travel with the astronauts and all of the things that they go through mentally, physically, and we didn't look at their spiritual aspect, but we did look at what they had to go through physically, and it was quite a bit. And then we went on to the fourth dimensional time travel for the Chrononaut. We explained what a Chrononaut is, what the mission is with building the rainbow bridges, with using the side banks and noosphere of Mother Earth, and how we should begin to use telepathy, which helps with our time travel. We talked about the different parts of our body, our major organs, how they are correlate with our chakras, and we talked about all of these different things, the pros and cons. But we're going to now talk about putting a flight plan together, okay? An instruction manual, if you will, and what is entailed with that. First of all, you want to know where you're going, how you're going to go, and what's the mission? What are you doing? In order to do all of that, you need to know what to tap in before traveling. What energy fields should we tap into? From here on out, with the crown chakra, throat chakra, heart, solar plexus, and root chakras, we ought to look at them as generators, right? That helps us to get moving. Just like we saw that spacecraft go up, and we saw all the heat at the bottom that was driving it, all of that fuel. They had the heat to help them go up, but the astronauts themselves had the will to go and the spirit of it, okay? So they had all three dimensions that we spoke about with mind, spirit, and will. Kali and Gamma are also major chakras, but we're not using them. They're not represented by the Earth family. Gamma, that's your third eye. That means to follow, obey. But the point of the matter is we're not getting rid of these two chakras. We need the secret center because that's our heat. That's just like the combustion that we saw with the aircraft going up. We transmute that to highest energy we can get. So let's go quickly through the crown chakra and all of the chakras indeed that are a part of the families, okay? Now, the crown chakra, which is the polar family, they are, we're talking about the doorway to cosmic consciousness. We're talking about divination, which means to know directly by mind. My father is intrinsic awareness. I feel the heat. Throat chakra, it says the will to communicate, to extend oneself to others in patterns of informative thought and behavior. So this is a channel of communication, bringing the fourth dimension through to the third dimension. And we're talking mental and emotional bodies. This is where the artistic expression comes in at. And then we're talking about sound vibration. This chakra corresponds to the cosmic vibratory root. When this chakra reaches its highest state, sounds emitted take on magical qualities that change the space of the listener through vibration. And that's key because then we can become a receiving station to tune into the thoughts and feelings of people both far and near. Then we come to the heart chakra, the core family. The heart is the main transducer of energy, gnosis, direct knowledge. You don't know how you know, you just know it. That's supreme reality. So let's go to the solar plexus, which is the signal family. Considered the second brain, the storehouse of prana. This chakra is also compared to the sun. It's radiating and distributing that pranic energy throughout the entire human system. It's instinctual, it's intuitive, emotional, and intelligent. You're not going to get past the gut. This energy is transferred to the heart chakra, where the transduction of emotional energy is experienced as the intelligence of the heart. So we're at the root chakra. This is a key chakra in Kundalini Yoga, where the awakening of the vital forces begin. And we touched on this earlier with those main psychic channels, talking about the nadis, the idas and pingalas and the sushumnas. The great mother energy nourishes the root of your being. That's that Kundalini life force energy is released from the root, activating that secret center and opening the inner wisdom channel of the third eye. My mother is the ultimate sphere. I see the light. So the Chrononaut clans, things to be aware of before traveling. We already know about the energies. Now let's look at what chromatics are saying. And they always start with the same color and they end with the same color. We're talking about the blood clan, the truth clan, the sky clan, and the fire clan. Those are the 5-day cycles called chromatics. So now each clan has their own identifiers. The red blood clan is driven by the desire to refine and make things palatable. There is, however, injury from which red blood clan does not easily heal from, and it is concentrated in intended destruction of supporter frames that red blood is mortally wounded. Red blood clan often finds itself at the center of struggles, and more often than not, suffering at the expense of someone else's fight. Nonetheless, red blood will heal more quickly than most from this type of injury, be it to the heart or the body, and then also be more ready to make peace with and amongst those involved. When red blood has occasion to meet with destructiveness that's either so total that the status quo can be recovered, or so insidious that current beauty and elegance of things drains away, leaving dead husks, then red blood must flee or die with it. And now with the White Truth clan. White Truth expresses its power best when it ventures into those lost and forgotten realms. Wow. The White Truth is equipped with precisely the tools necessary to venture into the wastelands of chaos and bring about a harmonic order. White Truth, contrarily, appreciates patterns and synchronicity, shies away from undifferentiated wholeness, is awakened to interest and action by the unknown, and creates a result of its action, that which can be known. So White Truth is the dynamic of assimilation, chipping away at differences and developing the first new harmonies. Like water running off a cliff, even gently, one drip at a time can be observed to be wearing away the cliff over millennia. White Truth is the power with which the water meets the rock and changes its nature in order to carry it elsewhere. You might say, well, what does all this have to do with time travel? You kind of want to get an idea of what your clan is capable of, what it's best at, what it's not as good at, what it may be harmed from, what it may be thriving in. You know, that's important when you're traveling. Here we go with the Blue Sky clan. The Blue Sky appreciates the beauty of non-ordered structures and the harmony of unintended consequences. Blue Sky represents not a pure, malevolent chaos, but rather a not as yet understood order or basic truth. Blue Sky exhibits better acclimatization to chaotic waters. So Blue Sky does little to change chaos and only rarely tries to change ordered things. So chaos, from the point of the view of the Blue Sky, is merely that which exists, but which is not yet known or understood. There must therefore be pattern in chaos, just not one that can be observed. It's good to know what clan you're in. Yellow clan. The Yellow clan operates under the galactic principle that is self-generation, the mysterious creation springing forth from what was apparently emptiness. And all of its derivations, yellow fire, galactic influence, is the quality of something appearing in the place of nothing. While processing the truth of yellow fire, one must therefore give emptiness a closer look. So yellow fire transforms the low rumble of possibility that's natural to all reality into something identifiable, observable, and dynamic. Chrononaut activations for a given plasma. So what are the activations for this plasma, for instance? What are we going to look at? We know we're going from the temple body, which is our gravity that holds us down on 3D, and we go to the fourth dimension, which is our magnetic body. It's like the middleman between third dimension to our higher selves and higher dimensions. It's going to help us pull down what it is that we need. And then we come to the fifth dimension, electric body, where the immortals live. So where are the transmits, the outputs, the inputs, the receivers, and transducers for this plasma? How will we get to know all of that? Our mind receives data, gravitational. Biopsychic, our spirit synthesizes and inspires us. Electromagnetic, will takes act. Gravitational, biopsychic, and electromagnetic. So before taking off in flight, let's also remember this.
New Zealand, 1952. Airline pilot Bruce Cathy spots a UFO hovering over the city's harbor. The craft holds him spellbound before vanishing straight up into the sky. The sighting turned out to be the first of many Cathy would have over the next 2 decades. He recorded all of them, documenting their exact flight paths, and a startling pattern began to emerge.
He spotted multiple UFO sightings. They all follow the same north-south grid lines and east-west grid lines. What he realized is that perhaps they were powering their crafts with this particular grid, because the Earth is like a hugely powerful energy source.
Kathy worked with software engineer Rod Maupin to create Grid Point Atlas, a computer program designed to map out his theory that electromagnetic lines crisscross the planet. According to ancient astronaut theorists, many of the world's ancient cultures were also aware of this global energy grid.
All around the world we find megalithic sites that are connected by geodetic grid lines and energy lines that naturally form from the Earth. And there is clear evidence that there was some kind of ancient survey of the planet that took place in antiquity. And the evidence now is the placement of where these megalithic sites are that we can still see today.
Is it possible the ancients built their pyramids to tap into the same electromagnetic fields as extraterrestrials use to power their crafts?
If we knew the truth, if we had a sophisticated enough perspective on planets and geomagnetic fields, we might realize that the sphere of the Earth with a molten core that sets up these magnetic fields is exactly what other intelligences look for in order to use pyramids in a way that we still have never been introduced to, at least publicly. And that once you have them in the right position, in the right magnetic field structure, you have free energy forever. And this sounds incredible. It is incredible.
Some ancient astronaut theorists contend that pyramids were not only built to harness the Earth's energy, but to amplify it by using the pyramidal shape itself.
There are certain pioneering scientists that have made the suggestion that the secret to how the atom is powered is gravity. That there is in fact a union between gravity and electromagnetism. So if the Earth is a sphere and the energy is flowing in from all directions, you build the shape of a pyramid, and as that matter is being created, you get a swirling current. And that swirling current generates a great deal of rotational inertia in the center of the pyramid.
The Great Pyramid does make an electromagnetic energy. I have taken over the years instruments into the pyramid, converts this energy we're talking about into a voltage. And measuring in Los Angeles, it was putting out about 0.08 volts. And when I took it into the Great Pyramid, it was producing 1200 millivolts, which means 1.2 volts. And the area around the pyramid was putting out the same voltage.
Ancient astronaut theorists contend that Earth's pyramids were not only designed for energy disbursement or powering spacecraft, but were also interconnected to act as communication hubs. And possibly even teleportation docks, capable of transporting living beings between pyramids both here on Earth and on other worlds.
If we look at all the specific instances of pyramids being placed around the globe, it could be that the Great Pyramid was meant to interconnect with these other pyramids that were built so purposely in different locations and could have been orchestrated by an extraterrestrial species for reasons we're still unable to fathom.
We're just talking about electromagnetism, and we were just talking about biospheric energy and gravitational energy. And now we see all of these energy ley lines and whatnot on the planet that our ancient forefathers that knew where these electrical ley lines and everything was and the magnetism, and they used them. And that's where we're headed. In conclusion, what are we saying here? We're saying that we're the God's returned, and our kinfolk from other star systems and planets and galaxies are waiting for us to obtain and use this information. We're talking about these are the steps. PIMP, PIMP, is your God given birthright to time travel. You are a time traveler. You might be lost, but now's the time to get back on track and get out of the woods and come back on the main line and get with it. How we're going to do that? Have purpose. What's your mission? 2 for internal. Power and guidance is internal. We're not going to get our power or any guidance looking outside of ourselves, looking to see what the astronauts doing, looking to see what the government doing. It's going to be internal. So ignition sequence starts internally. Then from there, we go to mastery, and we have 2 items there. We have the first one, meditation of reality, and number 2, cosmic ascension. We have to master that. We have to master meditation of reality. That means you have to do yoga. Now I know people that's in the community like we don't need to do all that, and I don't know what they're basing that from. Are they looking at the people over in India? Are they basing it on the monks and everything that's over there in Tibet or whatnot? Because that's not what we should be basing it on. We know why we want to meditate, but because we want to become excellent time travelers. You have to know how to still the mind. We all do. We have to meditate on the reality that we want to experience, because this isn't it. Cosmic ascension. It's going to take mastery for that. In order to have the correct trajectory. Didn't we hear that guy in the beginning, that newscast man, say, wow, they're on a good trajectory. He may have said trajectory, projectory. It's basically the same thing. If you're not veering off of the path. Pimp. Remember that. Purpose, internal, mastery, trajectory. The only difference between the 3D and the 4D is that 3D prepares the physical body and mind as it pertains to survival in space while in a spacecraft. But 4D trains all etheric bodies from within the spiritual construct of the mind that cultivates telepathy, which is essential in time traveling. You're not going to do time traveling if you don't know how to use telepathy. And that's just really the bottom line. That's going to do it for right now. I hope that you all enjoyed this free series of Astro versus Chrononaut. Any questions, you can contact me at the original Titan 456 at yahoo.com. Peace to the gods.